Hey, what's up, guys? There's this ongoing debate in the Idaho 4 case about what's evidence, what's not evidence, what is factual evidence, and what is fictional evidence. Well, we all don't know about the evidence. We're just being told about the evidence by the mainstream media and the media bias going on about the case, as well as the media already portrays this man as guilty before even going to trial. Now, we would know about the evidence if it was not for the gag order and the prosecution sealing everything up. Now, I know it's for quote unquote a fair trial, but Brian will not get a fair trial as long as it's in Moscow, Idaho, or Latah County. And I don't know what's going on in the minds of Ann Taylor and uh, Jay Logston and Massoff and Bill Thompson and Alyssa Jennings. The only thing I care about is these victims getting justice, as well as justice for Brian and Brian's family. But there's all this hoopla and this division about the guilters and the pro burgers. The guilty saying, "Oh yeah, this guy's guilty. Here's all the evidence." When us on the pro burger side haven't seen any of that evidence, we haven't, and we've had some good discussions and some good debates about the evidence, about and not the evidence, about the cast report. And most of those debates have been civil debates, and that's how it should be. It should be civil debates. There should be no drama about uh, his guilt or his innocence, and that's all we see in the mainstream media is he's guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? Whatever happened to that? Now it seems like in this mainstream media landscape, it's guilty until proven innocent. Just like when I went through my stuff back in 2004 and 2005, I was innocent until proven guilty. I didn't have people like Nancy Grace say, "Oh yeah, this guy's guilty. This guy's guilty." I didn't have people like Ashley Banfield, "Oh, he's guilty." Yeah, mine was a very small, low key charge, and it didn't get the same media landscape like a capital case like uh, Brian C. Koberger versus the state of Idaho. Now, personally, I do believe Brian's innocent because I haven't seen no evidence that would sway me to the guilty verdict because of this stupid gag order, and it's stupid. Now, I was involved with a very good discussion last night, and everything in surrounding this case, and there's nothing factual yet because we haven't seen it because of Bill Thompson sealing everything up, because of the mainstream media bias surrounding this case. And we don't even know if that white Elantra is Brian's car. And when we know he had a white Elantra, but we don't know if that was his car or not. I mean, even Brett Payne said that there was no sign of his car around the house the night of the unalivings on video. Just like there was no signs of his car leaving the area, like at the head shop and some of the other places, his car was not seen on video. And it's not a big deal if his cell phone doesn't connect with the cell towers. That doesn't prove anything. We need to remember innocent until proven guilty. We really do. We need to remember that. And we need to stop listening to biased commentators like Nancy Grace, like Ashley Banfield, like everyone that automatically assumes he's guilty without even thinking, okay, what if this gentleman didn't have anything to do with the crime? And remember, innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. And it just seems like with the judicial system nowadays, that's what they're pushing: guilty until proven innocent. And it absolutely irritates me. It irritates me to no end. We need to have civil debates. No drama involved in the chats. Everything has to be civil. And we can have good civil debates, good civil arguments without having drama in the chat or having dramas on the panels. That's what I truly believe. We need to stick to the facts, whatever the facts are. In this case, we need to stick to the facts. And what does the facts show? Right now, the facts don't show anything because we have not seen anything. We don't know what Dylan really saw that night, even though I don't believe Dylan half the time. And that's just my own opinion. And we, as watchers of the uh, judicial system, we have our own opinions. And we can keep our own opinions very civil and very cordial. Just like we don't know what Bethany saw that night. And that's my own opinion. But until we know exactly what's going on in this case, we need to stop throwing shade at Brian because we don't know if he actually did it or not. And we've heard some theories about the frat boys, about a lot of other stuff. Those could, I'm not saying the frats are involved or anything like that, but those are viable theories and opinions that need to be looked at. Because even Alyssa Jennings said in a hearing, well, we do have other suspects we could look at. Okay, why aren't you looking at them? And why were they so quick to tear that house down? And I do believe that the tearing of the house down was money motivated because Scott Green wants to build low income student housing on that spot. But we hear a lot of different theories. And some of them are viable. And don't get me wrong, some of them are very viable, but some are not. Like I have not seen any evidence of tunnels being under the house. I know there's steam tunnels that run under the college, but I have not seen any evidence of tunnels being directly under the house. Now, it may have had a secret room because we've heard of the drug element or the drug dealing going on in the house. It may have the secret room in the storage room where, say, someone could uh, have a stash for drugs, but still, that's another theory that has been beat to death. I mean, yes, Xana's mom and Maddie's stepmom did have some drug run-ins with the police, and they took plea deals. But does that mean the cartel is going to go into the house and kill everybody? No, because cartels don't use knives. They either come in shooting or they blow the house up. Everything in this case, it feels like we're in the Matrix, or that movie with Bill Murray called Groundhog Day. Yeah, it feels like we're in some form of either the Matrix or Groundhog Day, because nothing new is coming out, and we keep reliving and rehashing the same stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Now, I haven't had a chance to read the 319-page document dropped by Ann Taylor, but I do plan on reading it. But it just feels like we're in a state of flux with this case because nothing new is coming out. Unless you want to believe the mainstream media bias and the mainstream media lies coming from people like Banfield and Nancy Grace. But sometimes with this case, I'm at a loss for words. I really am, because of all the unrest going on right now about if he's guilty or if he's innocent. It feels like you have the guilters versus the pro burgers, and it should not be like that. We all have our own opinions. We all have our own voice. Why can't we just commune in peace and have a good, healthy debate or a good, healthy discussion about why we feel this way or why we feel that way? That's the way it should be. Now, I have some awesome friends in this community. I have some awesome support. You know, Christy Nevada, who I love, and she's one of my mods. Sirius Black, he's one of my mods, or she's one of my mods. I'm sorry, Sirius. Kiki, she does very good research for her channel. AR Hayes, he does good research on his channel. Yeah, I do some pretty good research on my channel. Pete from Murder Metal Mayhem, he's excellent on his channel, as well as Lucky. And we all have one thing in common. We all get along. We all have healthy debates, and all of our debates are civil. And we all see what's going on with this mainstream media bias. And it irritates us. They want us to believe one thing when we see something else going on in this case that's not being discussed, that's not being talked about. Everything always, he's guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty. When we haven't seen any of that. We see the corruption in the Moscow Police Department. We see the corruption at the U of I. We see the corruption with the frats and Christ Church. We see all of this as content creators, and we do our very best to call it out when we see it. Mind you, I've been in this community for roughly about 6 months, and I met some awesome people. And I've surrounded myself with positive people. Like the ones that I've mentioned. A.R. Hayes, Lucky, Pete from Murder Middle Mayhem, Swamp Rose, Christy Nevada, Sirius Black. That's what we need to do, is surround ourselves with positive people that we can have a good civil discussion or civil debate with. And I know we've all heard about the car ride from from Pullman clear to Idaho, Idaho clear to Pennsylvania, and Brian getting stopped twice for the same thing 2 miles apart. Now it makes me wonder if the FBI, not Moscow police, it makes me wonder if the FBI was tracking Brian, because they picked a tag reader picked up his car just outside of Loma, Colorado. So the FBI is playing a bigger stake in this. I can't put my finger on exactly how or why. Maybe eventually uh, the FBI is going to step in and this is going to be a federal case. And everyone knows about the IgG and the DNA. I'm going to say right now, the IgG or Brian's DNA is not going to make it into his trial, because you're going to have suppression motions start coming out before the trial starts, suppression of evidence motions, maybe even a Frank's hearing. We already know about the change of venue hearing going to go down, because they want it moved to Boise, because Ann Taylor and Masseth and Jay Loxton don't believe that he can get a fair trial there in Moscow. I don't believe he can get a fair trial there in Moscow either. I don't. I don't think he can get a fair trial in Latah County. I mean, I'm half tempted to believe he can't get a fair trial in Boise. I mean, where in the United States could he get a fair trial? I mean, could they move the trial down to Texas, or out east, closer to where he lives, Pennsylvania? I know Bill Thompson isn't going to want to travel clear to freaking Pennsylvania for the murder trial. But that's another thing. Nancy Grace got something wrong. Like always, she gets crap wrong. Everyone knows that the autopsies were performed in Spokane, Washington, and the pathology was performed in Spokane. Nancy Grace made the statement that moving the trial to Boise would make it closer for the pathologist, because the pathology and the autopsy was performed in Boise. She's wrong. It was performed in Spokane, Washington. I don't know why people listen to Nancy Grace at all, because 9 times out of 10, when it comes to this case, she's wrong. As well as she makes fun of Brian and she makes fun of Ann Taylor. That's why, I take whatever Nancy Grace says with a grain of salt, as well as Banfield. Now, we all know the night of the unalivings, there was stuff going down on actually Banfield. Not actually Banfield, the actual Banfield. You had the alcohol stop. And that in the body came on at 2:54 a.m. And you had all this activity, guys, going on around the house from 2:54 to 3:14, but yet they want us to believe that the murders took place at 4 a.m. Now, let's not forget those four people running or fast walking from the murder scene at 3:14, and that officer trying to, you know, trying not to show the body cam, but you could see them clear as day in the background running under that light at 3:14 in the morning. But according to the mainstream media, oh, there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. And they try to explain it away. You can't explain four people running from a murder scene. You can't explain it away, guys. I'm sorry. You cannot explain it away. And, the quote unquote, he pinged 12 times around the house. There's only two towers, one in Pullman and one in Moscow. And the FBI's already done come out and said that they can debunk at least 6 of those pings because he was in the Moscow area, but he was nowhere near the house. And just like Cy stated in that one hearing, that you need the AT&T records to do a effective cash report, because Mowry left out the AT&T records, as well as they didn't get the entire drive time done. They only got like 18% of it done. So what does that tell us? And you also have Brett Payne stating that he gives this work to people who's smarter than him to get it done. And Alyssa Jennings asked Brett Payne, okay, so who told you to say all this? And Brett Payne, bluntly, well, you did. And then we all saw Bill Thompson turn purple from being ticked off at what Brett Payne just said. And I'm sorry, I did not hear Cy state that he could change his mind. After seeing everything, he could change his mind. I did not hear that at all. But like always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and share my channel. Hit that bell notification for any new uploads. And go check out my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/True Crime Cult 162. I'm going to be start posting videos on the site as well. All right, you guys have a good Saturday afternoon. This is TCC out.